Hi, I'm Wesley Ewer, and I played Will Marshall on Land of the Lost, and I'm here with it's my dead Sleestak, because, this is just his skull, and you are listening to The Rock and Shock Show. Enjoy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Rock and Shock Show, right here on the Classic Metal Show Network. I'm your host, Ray Trenton Toman, and I'm so happy you guys decided to come back and hang out with me. Now, on last week's show, I had on Kathy Coleman and Wesley Ewer from Land of the Lost. If you didn't catch that episode, I encourage you to do so. In spite of the technical difficulties that I encountered, I thought it was an amazing show. I was emailing Zetro this morning, and we were talking about that program, and he told me that Kathy had emailed him about coming on the show. He knows I wanted to have her on for quite some time, and those two happen to be good friends. But I said to Zetro, I geeked out. I felt like a little kid again, but I don't make any excuses because I really love that show, and they were two people that were really part of my memories from that time in my life, from my childhood. So again, I make no excuses for geeking out. Just want you guys to check that show out. Before we get started, just want you guys to help us out. We are 100% supported by the fans of this program. And the way that you can support us is by going to our website, rockandshockshow.com, and become a member of the Rock and Shock Nation. It won't cost you a dime, and it will take about 10 to 15 seconds to sign up for our email list. But again, I ask that you go to rockandshockshow.com and become a member of the Rock and Shock Nation. Also, you can help us by subscribing to all of our channels and sharing these episodes with your friends and family members. Now, on today's program, I'm going to discuss horror and heavy metal. Now, this was very evident during the decade of decadence, or as Mark Weiss calls it, the decade that rocked, which is the 80s into the early 90s. But we saw how horror really influenced the bands of that time. The imagery, the themes, they were all used on, in the music, on the album covers. And we also saw how heavy metal influenced the soundtracks of some of those horror films. And that's where I'm going to focus today. It's going to be on those films from the 80s and 90s that featured some of our favorite rock personalities and also music from our favorite bands. But before I go there, I would be remiss in my duties if I didn't mention this one film. And it's a film from 1963. It's a Boris Karloff film called Black Sabbath. And yes, that's where the band Black Sabbath got its name. They were very intrigued by this movie. Also, it comes from, an experience that Geezer Butler had. And that experience was the inspiration for the song Black Sabbath. But again, the band, they felt that name just really encapsulated what the band was all about. They had that breakthrough sound. It was so different than anything, heard at that time. And it really set the stage and the foundation for modern day heavy metal.
Do you believe in ghosts?
This is the night when fear and horror walk hand in hand.
This is Black Sabbath.
Now, one of the first films that you have to check out is one of my personal favorites. It's the 1986 cult classic, Trick or Treat, and it features Gene Simmons as a radio DJ. And Ozzy Osbourne is like this anti-heavy metal evangelist. Pretty funny to see those guys in that film. But what it's about is a heavy metal hero dies tragically in a fire, and one of his biggest fans takes the album, plays it backwards to conjure him up, and with his help, the two plot to destroy all those who bullied this kid. You got to check this one out. The soundtrack for this film is from the band Fastway. Total 80s vibe with this. So let's check out one of the tunes from the soundtrack, and it's actually the title track called Trick or Treat. The next film that we have to talk about is also from 1986, and this is a sci-fi horror film by Stephen King, and you know it as Maximum Overdrive. Great film. It's one of those man against machine type films, and it features a soundtrack that's made up entirely of AC/DC songs, and Stephen King was just a big fan of AC/DC. The tracks include Who Made Who, You Shook Me All Night Long, and Hell's Bells.
This could be a very long day.
What's up, big guy?
I'll take over now.
Thanks. I hope they took it.
Sorry, guys. It's fun while it lasted, but we're all out.
And our next flick is also from 1986. This is a Canadian horror film called Zombie Nightmare. I have to say it's not one of my favorite movies. It's actually pretty cheesy. But this movie is about a baseball star named Tony Washington. And Washington is killed by a gang of thugs. He gets reanimated by a voodoo priest. And then he goes and hunts down those thugs wearing a baseball jersey. And it really is bad. So you may be asking yourself, why did I include it in this list? Well, the soundtrack is pretty awesome.
I promise you've never seen anything like it.
Look, Jim, I prefer men with ones that can be seen with the aid of an electron microscope.
Yeah, that's all right, baby. I'll make you beg for it.
You're the one. I'm chosen out of millions to be the one to die. I'll taste the blood. Now I smell the scent.
Again, it's a pretty lame movie, but the soundtrack includes one of my favorite bands, Motorhead. So, of course, it had to make today's list.
Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. Freddy's just around the corner.
When you talk about 80s horror films, A Nightmare on Elm Street always comes up in a discussion. And that's because it's one of the most iconic horror movie franchises out there. It also features one of the most iconic movie monsters in Freddy Krueger. Robert Englund played Freddy, and I think that casting was perfect. You couldn't have Freddy without Robert Englund. Now, what made A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 so special was the soundtrack. This movie featured Dokken and their song Dream Warriors, and that's what I want to play for you guys right now. Today's episode does not do justice to all the amazing 80s horror films out there. The list is just too massive to mention on this program. But as someone who grew up during the 80s, I have to say that it was a very, very special time. I have a lot of fond memories. And maybe I'm being a little biased, but I just think that it was such a different time, such a special time. I got to witness this emerging heavy metal scene. I have to admit, I was young during the 80s. When it started, I was like 10 years old. And then as the 80s progressed, I went through my teenage years. So I didn't get that full effect of the decade of decadence, and maybe that was a good thing. But what I can tell you is that the heavy metal scene was awesome. And you had a lot of these iconic bands that were really at the pinnacle of their careers. You had some that were just starting out. So to experience that raw hunger that they had, it's just something that's very hard to describe. And again, unless you lived during that time period, you experienced it, it's very hard to comprehend just how amazing the 80s were. Now, as I close out this episode, I want to share another video. And this is from Wes Craven's Shocker. And the video is No More Mr. Nice Guy, which features Megadeth. So check it out.
No more Mr. Nice Guy. Me, a nice guy. Yeah, right. I used to be such a sweet, sweet thing to me. Got a hold of me. I open doors for little old ladies. I help the blind to see. I got no friends 'cause they read the papers. They can't be seen with me. And I'm getting real shot down and I'm feeling mean. No more, it's a nice guy. No more, Mr. Clean, yeah. No more, Mr. Nice Guy. He's sick, he's a scene, yeah. But not hard to get along with. I'm impossible. I got no friends 'cause they read the papers. They can't be seen with me. And I'm getting real shot down and I'm feeling mean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Clean, yeah. No more Mr. Nice Guy. He's sick, he's a single, yeah. My dog bit me on the leg today. Cat clawed my eye. Mom's been thrown out of a social circle. Dad said to hide. I went to church incognito when everybody rose. The Reverend Smith didn't recognize me. He punched me in the nose. He said, no more nice guy. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Clean, yeah. No more Mr. Nice Guy. He's sick, he's a senior, yeah. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Clean, yeah. No more Mr. Nice Guy. He's sick, he's a senior, yeah. Not to say I was ever nice in the first place, you know.
All right, guys, that concludes another episode of the Rock and Shock Show right here on the Classic Metal Show Network. Visit us on the web, rockandshockshow.com, and become a member of the Rock and Shock Nation. I would greatly appreciate if you do that for me today, and also subscribe to all of our channels. Remember to stay metal stay horror, and I'll see you soon.
This concludes our broadcast day.
William Dillon.